to Game 5 of the 2014 Greendale Panther football season. We are now entering the halfway point in the season as conference standings are starting to shake out. Tonight, Greendale's on the road playing the other New Berlin team in the New Berlin West Vikings. The Vikings are struggling this year coming into tonight's game with an 0-4 record, while Greendale's coming in at 4-0 and seems to be very difficult to stop. West will definitely have their hands full tonight. The Vikings would kick first to start the game. It didn't take long for Greendale to start rolling as senior Jack Ringelberg took the ball and returned it 56 yards, giving Greendale a short field to start with. Five plays later, Greendale's quarterback, Josh Ringelberg, threw a little hitch pass to David Johnson from 7 yards out for the score. Kicker Josh Michaels would tag on the extra point, thus making the score 7-0 with 10:31 left in the opening quarter of play. After the ensuing kick, New Berlin would start their first drive of the night from their 18. They failed to get a yard and they were forced to punt going 3 and out. After the punt, Greendale would start at the midfield. They failed to move the sticks and were looking at a fourth down. They had their offense out and looked like they were going for it, but then Ringelberg kicked it instead, which didn't go too far, so New Berlin West would take over on Greendale's 42. Vikings only managed 5 plays before turning the ball over and downs back to Greendale. Ringelberg would now lead his offense back out onto the field and start from their 42. With a clever mix of the run and the pass, they eventually crossed the goal line in 8 plays as Josh Ringelberg carried it in from 5 yards out. Michaels made the kick, making the score 14-0 with 1:48 left in the first quarter. The Vikings would begin their next drive from their 35. This time they ran off 6 plays, taking the game into the second quarter before having to line up for a punt from Greendale's 45. After the kick, the Panthers would begin from their 18. Behind some crazy runs by speedster Angel Ramirez, it would only take 4 plays before Ringelberg threw a pass to Michaels, who used his vertical leaping ability and made a circus catch for a 32-yard scoring strike. He would then make the extra point kick, increasing Greendale's lead by a score of 21-0 with 9:07 left in the second quarter. The Vikings needed to get something going or this game would get away from them real quick. They would start their next drive from their 29. The quick, swarming Panther defense held strong and forced another punt from West, going 3 and out. That punt would go out of bounds as it was apparent that the Vikings wanted to keep the ball away from Angel Ramirez, who was always very dangerous. They would start from West 37. On the very first play, Ringelberg threw a swing pass out to Ramirez, who then used his speed to go 67 yards up the left sideline for another Panther score. Point after try was good, and Greendale was now blowing this game wide open by a score of 28-0 with 7:22 left in the first half. The Vikings would start their next drive from their 21. Again, the speed of Greendale was just too much for them to handle as they forced them to punt going 3 and out. After another punt that rolled out of bounds, Greendale would have to start from the Vikings 40. 9 plays later, Ringelberg hooked up with Johnson again, but he would fumble, of which New Berlin would pick up and run 43 yards the other way. There was a penalty and West, however, so the ball would come all the way back to their 5. Again, the struggling Vikings could not move the sticks and they were forced to line up for another punt going 3 and out. This time the punter made the mistake of kicking it straight to an awaiting Ramirez, who then made the Vikings pay by returning the kick 48 yards to the house for another Panther score. Michaels converted the point after making the score 35-0 with 24 seconds left in the half. After a short squib kick, West would start from their 40. On their second play from scrimmage, New Berlin would complete a 60-yard scoring strike for their first points of the night. The point after try was good, thus making the score 35-7 with 8 seconds left in the first half. Greendale would get the ball and take a knee to end the first half of play. Panthers would kick to New Berlin to start the second half. After the kick, West would start from their 29. They would get off 6 plays before having to line up for another punt from their 44. Greendale's offense would now take to the field and begin from their 31. This time they only put 6 plays together before having to line up for a punt from New Berlin's 48. After Ramirez's kick went into the end zone, West would start from their 20. They managed to put 9 plays together but ended up having a punt from their 47. This time West pinned Greendale deep, making them start from their 5. On the Very first play, Ringelberg will double pump and then threw a pass downfield to Brad Lockman, who had his guy beat and then rambled the rest of the way to pay dirt, completing a one-play, 95-yard scoring drive. Michaels made his kick and Greendale would now turn on the running clock by a score of 42-7 with 2:41 left in the third quarter. The Vikings would begin their next drive after the ensuing kick from their 34. 3 plays later, safety Jack Ringelberg intercepted a pass, giving it back to Greendale's offense on their 34. It was now the start of the fourth quarter, and that quarterback for Greendale was David Wood. He managed to put 4 plays together that were plagued by penalties, and they were eventually forced to punt from their 30. After another great punt, West would have to start from their 11. They ran 1 play before giving the ball back to the Panthers as they fumbled the quarterback-center exchange, of which Jordan Deloney for Greendale would recover. Greendale was now looking at a real short field. In that quarterback this time was Mike Jankowiak. 2 plays later, he would hand the ball off to Jake Devlak, who then scored from 6 yards out. The point after try was good as Greendale kept piling it on by a score of 49-7 with 3:24 left in the game. After the kick, West would begin from their 27. They ran 3 plays before the game finally came to an end. The final score would be Greendale 49, New Berlin West 7. It was a case of New Berlin just being overmatched as Greendale has way too many weapons to contend with. Speed is also a factor as Greendale looked like they were running twice as fast as New Berlin at times. The Vikings shouldn't feel bad though, for every team that Greendale has played thus far has had to deal with the same problem. Greendale will return home next week to take on the Wauwatosa West Trojans. The Trojans have a formidable running back in Demarius Purifoy, who is lightning fast and extremely strong, so we will see if Greendale's speed can contain the league's leading rusher. It's also homecoming week, so the crowd should be huge and the stands will be packed for what should be a great game. This game is scheduled to start at 7 o'clock. Hope to see you all there. So long.